Okay. Let's stay. So let's say here we have this side projection. Can you see it clearly? It's blue color. Okay, Alexis can see better. So, and let's see, here will be 2 points. And curve like this, for example. So it's like top projection. And we need to mirror this curve to other side. But here. So, oh, wait a second, let's go back. This. Hello pen top graphite. Hello crash none. So okay, so here like quick recap from previous video, right? Like how we built 3D curve. So we have side projection, we have top projection, we mirror top projection. So now we can draw 2 3D curves. So we finding these points from making x-axis and y-axis lines from each point. So from side projection we draw x-axis, like in direction, right, with this x-axis. From top projection we draw y-axis, vertical line. In this case y-axis is just parallel, same also x is just parallel lines. And yeah, this you can find in the Scott Robertson book. So it's like I was every time talking about this book, but you know, this is how it works with most of people. Most of people still don't study from it. So, and somehow when it's more video, some dude on YouTube talking and showing examples how you can practice Scott Robertson, somehow it can be like good motivation or inspiration, or you know, just make it more down to earth, so it doesn't feel like a super science in a book. When you just like alone open this book and you're like, oh my god, it's like there is Scott Robertson and here is me. Who am I? Just a little guy, you know. So it's good to have some art community, at least if you don't have like real life artist community at least have some substitute in a YouTube version of it. Yeah, I live in Taiwan. Так. This I have on a hat. That's country. Beautiful country. I recommend everybody to visit. Так, so okay, so here we have these two 3D curves, right? And we can see that we can connect these curves, right? So we will have this surface. So now we have this like wave surface. Then also we can make it more complex. We can make like on a different level. And actually, you know, because we draw in surface, right, as some kind of matter, kind of flat surface. It's not necessary to make it symmetrical. It can be also asymmetrical. So, where to show it? Okay, here I will show you. Can draw like different height. Or okay, let's make new paper. So I'll show you like how to make asymmetrical and different height. So let's make two. Так. So what we can do before, we do like only one line for this like side projection, right? But now we can do two, so it will be like a two level. I will show you what this mean. So let's say, yeah, let's do simple at first. So we have two curves on a side projection. So say kind of this. Let's see. Like this here. Make a mirroring. So here we still have like these two lines mirrored from top plane. Write me also in the chat, like have you practice curves from previous tutorials. So here you see we have these two curves projected from top. And now what we can do, we can make 3D points from this curve or from this curve. So let's take, for example, from this lower curve. So it will be edge of a surface. Right. So let's say like this. And here also on the other side. Так. Which is the red color. Так. And now this higher line, right? This higher curve, we can use as a center line. So it will be like a middle of this plan instead of making it like if we will have this low curve for sides and middle, so it's kind of like a flat surface, like a ribbon, right? If we have a higher one, okay, then we will have like kind of protruding, right? So let's say and we can like choose in which way, so it can be like a curve here or can be like a straight lines. Let's make today curve also, okay, but let's today make it straight because I was plan next video talking about curve cross cuts. So let's say like this. And here. So let's take some. So it's kind of look like this. Or we do opposite. So we can do like higher will be on the sides and the middle kind of will going down. So let's say like this. Let's do it this way. So I take this higher curve to make on the sides. So this one. So and the center points have here. Like this. Also for kind of exercise, you can emphasize this top shape as a shadow, right? So it's like Scott Robertson show in a book. So it's just kind of reinforce this understanding. So, you know, like kind of you draw in one form this kind of curved shape, but at the same time you also practice lighting, this like light and shadow stuff. Так, let's put here. So it's a kind of very simplistic, just a top down, but still works. Так, here to other side. Так.
Subscribe Keyboard Art. You now have 15 seconds to comply.
Так. And maybe just like again, for example, if is not symmetrical. So let's say so we have here this curve, and then other side will be a random curve, say like this. Так. So this points here. Так. And this curve will be for this curve. Let's say like this. Так. Okay, so it's the other side curve. It's kind of this. Double check here. Set. Yeah. Should be here. Okay. let's use this curve as a middle. So sorry. Shadow. Так. So you see we can have like symmetrical, symmetrical, but like middle can be higher, lower, and we can have like asymmetrical. Both work. So here it's just like you don't want to make like total mirroring. You don't need to care about make mirroring curves match each other, but it's same principles. So так. And then if we want to draw form going through this surface, let's make a break here.
Who are you?
My name is Bond.
Jim Bond.
Так. The screen is not very clear. Так. So let's say we have curve. Так. Here. And there. Так. Так. So let me use this color. So we draw this curved surface. Let's kind of make it extreme. Oops. Let's also make this point. So here these are two 3D curves, a central curve, and if we connect them, this are surface, right? Like curved surface. So, and now let's make some form. Will be like kind of like a cylindrical, but I want to make it longer. So it will be like this kind of form. And we also will do this form from Scott Robertson book. It's kind of vertically going through the surface like a pillar. So what we need to do is to establish this vertical projection, kind of z on a z plane. Oh no, y, sorry, it's a y plane. So it's like vertical top view. So let's say, for example, here. So it will be start and end about here, right? Then we establish with these points. Let's say like this, right? So these are widths. So these 2 points I use in direction of the axis here, right? So from this point, I'm making this cross here and make this like half circle, half ellipse. So also I have this tutorial about ellipses. It's kind of think about ellipses when we have this kind of square in this perspective, right? Ellipse will consist from 2 curves like this and 2 curves like this. So we have like 2 very strong curves and 2 flat curves. So here you see we have like half ellipse. So here's like 1 curve is a flat and second curve is like whoop. And it's important to notice that this curve kind of overlaps this center point. So if you transfer this point is not edge of ellipse. Edge of ellipse will go a little farther, right? So it's like goes like this, and here is center point. Same here. Edge of ellipse go like this, and center point little within this ellipse. So here we have this projection, and we can transfer it above. So let's say I move it up. So here already we can see how this line connects with edge of a center line, and now it's piercing through it. It's going above. So I establish how high it goes, right? So let's say here. So now here I rebuild this top projection. So moving all these points here. So at this point, whoop, this point, whoop, whoop. And also I show this like edge, right? So I also move this edge protrusion kind of, right? Same here, this protrusion, because it's go farther than this point here. So, and now I can just connect these dots, recreate this curve. Whoop. So we have two planes, right? The top and bottom of this form. So form itself, it's kind of this. Dun, 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 dun. And now we need to find where this like cut, how this surface, like what kind of mark it will leave on this object, right? So how we do this? We're doing this by how to make it clear. So you see this point here, right? Center. It's lying on the same line with the center line. So when I move it up, it's intersect curvature of a center line of this surface. So we get this point. Then on this point I drop this x-axis, this direction, x-axis, and I move these points. So when they intersect with this x, we have points of intersection. So now we have these points of intersection between this form and the surface. Same we do with this point, I'm moving up, you see, it intersects here. I can like transfer this way, like every point on a curvature, but I need to maybe like, let's do one more drawing, I will show on a bigger scale. Or I can just already eyeball it. Only important here, don't go outside of this edge. So it should be within edge. So same here, we already have this line, it's make point, then we have this, I move it up, from here I move to x direction, we have this point, up, x, have this point, up, and here this curvature intersects with this direction. Так. Now we have this 1, 2, 3 point, and this like edge of curvature. Now I can put this like distorted ellipse. So now this ellipse curvature is not is not correct. Now it's distorted because curvature of a surface. Так. So, and now we have this like this line here, which is also can be projected. So let's see. Here. So here's gonna go overlaps. Так. So here. How this curvature looks. Так. And also show. Let's make one more bigger so we can see more clear. Okay, let's draw perspective grid. So X or Z, you can switch, is not very important. So you can make like Z axis go in this direction, X go in this direction, or you can make X go in this, and Z go in this. It's kind of both will work. So let's say we establish this kind of isometry perspective grid. So I will call this one Z. Так. Then will be vertical y and x. So this one x. Can you hear? Can you see it? Okay, вот this you can see. Так. So now let's see. This will be our bottom. This is side. Так. Yeah, this time make not too high, so I can make it more clear. Так. Let's see. Here. The hit. So here's our two 3D curves and a center line. Okay. So this is our curved surface. Так. And let's see. Here we have this object top projection, right? So have these points. This is top. So this top projection is y-plane on a y surface because it's perpendicular to y-axis. Так, now I am moving these points above to establish like top surface of this object. And I use in perspective grid, right? So like I move on elevating them with the y-axis. Then when I choose how high, let's say here, right? This high. Now I use an x-axis to draw. So now y and x intersect, and we have this center line. Now I just transfer other points, and then when I need these 2 points, I need from this point, I need to drop the axis. Right, oh, this point here. And now when I, from this point, I move y-axis, it intersects with this z-axis. We have this point. Same here, y-axis, z-axis. We have this point. And for curvature, also I need edge, this edge. So also moving this line. So I know how kind of this half ellipse will go. So now we have 1, 2, 3 edge, and I can draw curvature. And connect this and curvature here. Okay, so we have bottom and top, and now we need to find this like cut middle area where surface piercing through this object. So because you see we haven't connected these points through axis. So here this center line, it's the same center line for this central curve. So when from this point I elevate y-axis, it will intersect central curve, create this point. Same here, same here, same here, right? So now we have this like center kind of from a side view. We already can see how cut goes through this object from a side view. But then we also need these points. How to find them? Using perspective grid. Again, like you need to understand this principle. So z-axis have this direction, right? So from central point, we need to drop this z-axis. And when y-axis from each point will intersect z-axis, we will have these points. Also, like in this case, it's a z-axis because surface of this curved plane parallel to z-axis. But if a surface tilted, then you will need to follow angle of a surface for these points. So I will do like next example showing it. So now we have this 1, 2, 3, 4 points here, right? Same. This whoop, whoop. So 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So I can draw curvature. I just keep in mind this edge. Or if I'm not sure, right, like if I want to make sure I transfer curvature properly, same, I just can do more points. So let's say just add 2 more points on a curvature. I drop this z-axis. I have these points on a center line. I alleviate to center curve. Now again z-axis, z-axis. Up, up. So now I have these 2 points here. So it's helped me connect dots like this. Same on the other side. I have these 2 points. This is the axis, y-axis. Basically, like if you did 3D curve exercise from previous tutorial, all this it's about building 3D curves. Just slightly different scenario. So you think kind of you draw an ellipse, but you use the same approach like you draw in 3D curves. So same here, right? So I can just like eyeball it. More I practice drawing with the points in perspective, more precise I will do it intuitively. So yeah, if you're not sure about how to transfer this curvature on a tilted surface, because here it's tilted, right? So it will be distorted. If you're not sure, better make more points. Let's say like these 2 points, right? And again, so make the axis going through these points. Now we have these points also on other side and in the center. So from center I'm moving up to y-axis until it intersects with the center curve. Okay, and now I draw the axis through those points on the central curve. So now for each point, again drop y-axis. I see, so it creates this like section cut. Right, so you need to make sure you understand this principle. So you need to kind of have this enclosed section. So from this point, line go to center, then it's go up, then it's go left, and then it's go down. So it's one clear section. So there you have your kind of point for 3D curve. Same this point. It's going to center, moving up, moving left, moving down. We have again like section for it. And on this corner of this section will be your point for 3D curve. Так. Same here. Whoop. Same this one. Whoop. So now we can just like a children connect these points. Так. Same we can do like for this in the middle, right? This straight line. Just drop as many points as you want. Let's drop 4. So I'll take to this. Так. Whole thing is to practice, track every point and every line, because at first this is a main issue for everyone. They like start to be confused, like about this stage you already is gonna like what is what, you already like lost, because so many lines, so many points, which line go where, you completely lost it. So that's why you need to practice doing it. That's why you need to do it more, because you might understand it once, you might have this one drawing which you happy about, you think you're smart, you finally can draw Scott Robertson perspective. But just one drawing not enough, because this kind of fluency, ability to work with this maths, with this like complex structure, this ability you can only get from experience. So you need to have more and more attempts. Okay, this two will be enough, so you can connect. So here's kind of slight curvature. Let's see. Let's go through here. So. And this is what we need. We need this fluency. This whole point about drawing this stuff. It's not just like being able to draw this. It's about developing confidence and fluency. So it should become your normal default skill. Like kind of like a walking. So after repeating it many times, it became so natural and kind of default and basic. So you will stop even thinking about how you're doing it. You will feel like it's just happened. So this kind of goal you should aim to. So let's see, one more. Also remind how perspective grid works. With drawing this plan, I already established perspective grid. I already established this my z-axis. So, and I say it's like slight conversion, almost zero conversion, but it's like a little conversion. Same with this is x axis. So when you just draw in right angle in perspective, you already establish a perspective grid. And same like my y axis. So let's say y x-axis, zero convergence, just vertical lines. So now let's do curved middle part. So we'll have two curves on a side projection. We'll have this. X-axis. X. Так. Where's the point? About here. Okay. So now we drop side. This. Maybe one more here. So we can more precise find this curvature. Так. What's this here? Okay. This. Center line. So here is our surface from two curves. And now let's draw this object. Let's make it like this. Also, you can make like a square or like rectangle. It also helps to draw ellipse more clearly. So let's see. And this time let's make it this shape. Так. So moving it both. Maybe this way. Так. Same now. These 2 points. And this side for ellipse. Так. Okay, and now we're looking for cut, shape of cut, right? So this line find in middle here, this line find in middle point, this line find in middle point. So these are center line of a cut. Then we need to find these 2 points. So dropping up from this point, I drop in x axis and we get intersection. So this points on the surface right now. Так. If I want to be clearer with the curvature, I can make one more point. Let's drop it here. Так, so I have like this and like this. So now we have, I think it's enough to draw this curve. So, of course, this way. Okay. And now we can make some more points, and just to make sure we're properly establish this curvature here. So maybe this one here, x from this and this, and drop y. Okay, and one more put here. Oh. So you see, even like I'm making a lot of small mistakes, like sometimes measurement not precise, sometimes like just line goes off. But if you understand what you're doing, if you follow main principles, it still works out. Problem is not with like making lines is not a main skill here. Main skill is to really track whole structure. Make sure you really understand how things should be connected, why they connected this way, why certain line go that way, stuff like this. Так, let's black. So let's clarify here. Так. So here can make a little morphed. So, shadow. Here little of this form appears. I forget I want to make deep here. Let's do one more. Так. So, quick shadow. Can also draw it as a box. Let's say this time draw opposite sequence, start from object. Why so dark? So like this will be a surface. Так. And like this. Так. Here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. Like this. Так, and now, yeah, almost again, almost forget again, we have central area here, goes curved like this. Three. So here is our surface, very bent. Так. Here is our object. And again, we're like finding this curved center line. So curved center line. Screwing this. So it's like where is cut, right? Then now we need to find this by following this x axis. So you see, we find this, but here is not work because surface is not flat, surface is curved. So instead of doing it this way, we need to go in following whole surface cut. So it goes to here, and then we make this curvature of a surface, and then this curvature intersect with this y-axis. So now we have this curve. So same here. You drop this way. Так. Here it's already have curve. Yeah, so it's convenient. Here we already have curve. Now we have these points. Then here. Oop. This curve. So this is how cut is look. So this is black.
Madness. This is Jane Bond art.
So you see, now we can draw it like inside the box. So let's just like for experiment draw in random angle. Here. Так. Let's see. Так, now let's draw curves. Так, so let's say it's kind of going like this. and second curve go like this. Так. And on the surface to go this way. Так. So. Mirroring. Так. So here we have a top projection on the bottom. So we just like, instead looking like from usual angle, from top down, now we're looking from bottom, right? So it's some exercise for you. Так. Now we can make 3D curves from it. So we use in here box as perspective grid because box establishing direction for y-axis, z-axis, and x-axis. Так. Does this? So maybe I need this point. Так, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Так. Да. And here, other side. mistake here. Так. Okay. It should be this point. This point. Hello, Chris. Так. Drawing curved plants, cutting through. Так. So here, go like this. It's kind of lost here. So, it's nice. Так, again. So here. Yeah. This form. Так. Here will be worth. And this curve. Так. So moving towards this y-axis established by box. So dark. Так. Moving towards this y-axis, and we find this center point. Again, moving this, find center point. We can find this one. And this one. And also for curvature, this edge. So then I can continue to see how far this object, how long this object will be. So let's say this long, so it will go outside of surface. Так. Also drop this point. Так, so in here, so we find this center curve of cut, right? And now we can find this z-axis. Так, so this way. Here. So, list points. Так. Так. And we can also like shade in little on the surface. Так. How long is later? 2 hours. Так. So, and here I did some experiments. Same idea.